Lily on her knees in the downpour, mouth wide calling into smoke. The senior she just lost isn't answering. The wall keeps bleeding. The hooded mage staggers forward, eyes burning green through ash. Mana gone, breath gone, still standing because someone has to. Light shatters the smoke. Whatever Lily had left, she just spent. The Crossroad bought another second on her last spark. Senior mage. Her voice cracks calling it out. The green-eyed magician fades behind the rain, hood torn, the last anchor slipping. Sparks chew across Lily's iris. Gold light, gold tears. A child mage staring at the version of her teacher that might not come back. Lily screams into the fire. The braid whips. The wall is hers to hold now, alone, with empty hands and one stubborn heartbeat. Gold detonation against gray sky. Whatever just hit the wall, the mages answered it with everything they had left. A red rune ignites mid-air. The Crossroad detonates upward in fire. The defenders are still trading their breath for one more second. Ash, dark-haired, red cape sodden, mouth open. He watched the senior mage hold the line. He understands the price exactly. Boss? The word climbs out of the smoke. Hooded survivors look toward the gap the senior mage just filled with herself. Why did you save me? The question hangs heavier than the storm. Lily kneels beside a body the rain refuses to wash clean. The senior mage. Blonde hair, pointed ears, blood on her chin, eyes half closed, still breathing, smiling like she won something. Lily, hood off, tears mixing with rain. She is shaking and she does not want him to see. He sees anyway. Ash's boots step into the puddle. Red cape against gray stone. The senior mage's voice still cracks behind him. Senior. Lucas and the green-roan magician kneel in the rain, heads bowed. We have no words, Your Highness. It was our mistake. Ash answers without raising his voice. That's enough. Lift your heads. The Crossroads survived. He refuses to let them carry shame. The Legion is not finished. Red-mawed spider beasts snarl from the smoke, fangs wet. The wall has not earned quiet yet. Just need to clean up those guys, Ash says. Hooded shapes still moving on the horizon. The Crossroad will get its quiet soon. But the word lands like a stone. Ash's eyes go dark under the rain, counting names the Empire would rather not hear. Fearful Lucas and Evangeline. Blonde knight, silver-haired magician beside him, both upright, both hollowed out from the inside. Fearful Demian out of bullets. Lily out of mana. The two of them slumped together, surrounded by red cloaks who carried them out. A bearded soldier roars in fury, helmet askew, neck veins straining. The grief inside the army is finding teeth. Ice mages on the rampart, hands flat against the cannon casing, steam pouring around their cloaks. One more shot. They will bleed for one more shot. Detonation rolls across the field. The last cluster of spider beasts caves inward, fire eating through what little armor they had left. Cannons line the wall in a row, smoke still leaking from their muzzles. The ancient mana cannon at center. The wall is breathing again. A red-armored soldier asks the prince, is there still a need to maintain the firewall? The fight is over. He just cannot believe it. Ash answers with one eye, dark hair plastered against rain-streaked skin. He says nothing for a heartbeat. He is counting graves. No. Then a thumbs up. You did a great job. The prince's grin lands harder than the cannon volley. The soldier almost breaks. Banners snap on the parapets. The red and white pennants of the Crossroad lift in a clean wind. The army roars beneath them. The ancient mana cannon, cold at last. A single drop of meltwater clings to its muzzle, then falls. The siege is officially done. Lucas finds Ash on the rampart, blonde hair flat against his scalp, armor still wet. The prince meets his eyes, half a smile waiting. Ash looks up at the breaking sky. It rained only when we were fighting, he says quietly. The clouds owe nobody anything. What a selfish cloud. The banner above him flaps once in the new light. Even the weather chose its side too late. Crossroad in daylight. Red armored guards and a fresh green armored grunt at the gate, helmets cleaned, the wall whole again, Ash in profile against the morning sky. Black hair, brown eyes, the cape resettled on his shoulders. Younger somehow, after. If something went wrong today, Take it to heart as a lesson, he tells the formation. Only then will you improve. He reviews the things he could have improved on. Most of all, his own decisions. So that next time people don't die. As much as the Crossroad becomes a stronger battlefront, the men who hold it must become stronger soldiers. He must become a stronger commander. Ash in close, expression composed, dark uniform with gold cords. The boy from Earth is wearing the Empire properly now. Cathedral Plaza. Drinks are on me, Ash tells them. The survivors smile thinly. Most of them did not sleep last night. White-robed figures cluster in the cathedral yard, heads down. Between the people screaming in joy, there are people who lost everything. And Lily, braid down her back, shoulders smaller now, facing away from her prince. She is not ready to look at him yet. A montage of small moments. The day the Crossroad mourns the way a city mourns. In pieces, in quiet, in tears nobody films. A cracked stone marker on a pale slope. Days have passed since the wall held. The Crossroad has begun counting names instead of arrows. Hooded figures in red sashes line a corridor in the cathedral. They are waiting for their boss's surgery to end. What? Ash steps in, dark uniform sharp against the stone, brown eyes narrowed. The little congregation faces him without flinching. A small, pale, green-haired priestess looks up. Yellow eyes, plaster bandages on her face. She speaks for the God Hand crew with no fear. No, Ash answers softly. This isn't just about functioning. He refuses to treat the wounded as parts of a machine he can repair. Sky tilts to dusk, a blank moment of stone and pale gradient, like the chapel itself is holding its breath before he speaks again. The little hooded priests look up. Pale green hair, ribbon ties, bandaged cheeks. They came expecting orders. They got a man instead. If you guys are also hurt, tell me. I'll treat it. He says it twice so they don't mishear him. He means it both times. Cathedral spire in the warming light. There's a victory feast tonight, he tells them. Shame the God Hand can't attend. You eat anyway. The pale priestess goes wide-eyed. Yellow eyes go round. Mouth opens. Permission to be a person granted, witnessed, undeniable. Ash smiles at them under a softening sky. Brown eyes warm for the first time this chapter. The prince has started picking sides. The hooded priests beam under their cowls, 4 little grins in a row. Yellow eyes, mischief sharpening. Permission unlocks something cheerful. Send us lots of yummy stuff, they tell him. Juice is good. Ash commits 3 containers of just juice on the spot. Night drops on the Crossroad, moon high over the rooftops, lanterns lighting the rebuilt streets. The city has stopped flinching. How dare you all start the party without your lord, Ash booms. The citizens roar back. My lord, my lord, my lord. Now. Southern front. The prince raises a torch, mouth wide, grin sharp. The Crossroad answers him with one cheer that shakes the walls. Drink and die. The square fills with raised cups under the lantern light. The Crossroad lord toasts his survivors like a brother. Ash gulps from a barrel-sized mug, face flushed. No matter how many times I drink this, he thinks, I cannot get used to it. Hey, secretary. Do me a favor. The spiral-glassed kitchen master shuffles up, balancing a tray of fruit and meat. The prince has a plan. Send some food to the temple, and drinks. Aha. Psst. The chef hesitates. The prince's eyes narrow under the torchlight, waiting. What's with the tske, brat? Ash grabs the chef's collar, fanged grin out, eyes glowing red. The food's for the priests, got it. The auburn-haired healer steps into the lantern light, red cross between her brows. She says quietly. Someone new just arrived. Boots cross stone. The empire belongs to the man who refused to die, and the hall already knows his name. Ash steps in. Red cape, gold trim, soldiers leaning forward to see the legend they fought beside. The roof shakes with cheering. Banners snap above the hall, and the war seems briefly very far away. The old bearded veteran weeps wine into his beard. Happiness, he says, must always answer to sadness. Ash clinks every cup, laughs louder than anyone, and pretends the win is uncomplicated. The mood obeys him. The night of victory keeps going. The empire still has its prince, and the prince still has somewhere quieter to be. A bandaged stump rests on the sheet. The arm she raised for him is not coming back. Lily is awake, braid loose, hand light on the blanket, watching the door for the man who finally came. She softens when she sees him. Soft brown eyes, quieter than the hall outside. Miss Lily. The part under the elbow is amputated, the joint stayed. Prosthetics fit easier this way, the healer said. On a smaller bed, 3 tiny green sleepers breathe slow. Even in this room, life is still allowed. A covered dish sits on the bedside table, steam under the lid, untouched. Dinner waiting for permission. Across the room, Lily in her sickbed and Ash in a wheelchair beside the small table. Don't you hate us? She asks. His hand hovers over the parchment, ink already there in shaky lines. The answer he is supposed to give will not come. Rain falls in memory. A figure catches the blow meant for him. Why did you take the hit and lose your arm? Fearful, Lily watches him steady. I told you, she says. The voice that took the blow knows exactly what it spent. You might be right, she answers. From your view, there was no reason to risk it. She still does not flinch. He remembers the rooftops above Crossroad. Robed strangers bowing in a row. Loyalty handed over too early to be real. Window in late gold? Aren't you being too cold to me? She asks. Nothing more burdensome than unreasonable kindness, he answers. Lily refuses the dodge. Tell me, don't hide it. Why did you save me? The question with no clever exit. Can I be honest? She says, voice softer than the window glass. The room finally stops pretending. Her brown eye fills the bedroom, wet and very steady. A confession picking which door to walk through. A bare foot, Achilles tendon slashed, blood pooling on wood. The cut that slave hunters made when they caught her. For some reason, Lily says, she thought of that woman when he stood in front of the gargoyle chieftain. Lily curled in the chair, knees tucked, the empty sleeve folded. The memory sits where the arm used to be. Ash fumbles. Well, that's that, and this is this. The hallway listens, unimpressed by the deflection. Emotionally, she admits, I thought of my mother. The confession that the prince did not have a slot for. Empty room. Lily sitting up in bed, the wheelchair angled toward her. I thought you were more the emotional type, he reflects. Memory of her mother? Red light pouring from her hands across wounded skin. Miss Lily, we cannot understand each other. But even if we cannot understand each other right away, she says, gold light from the window catching her hair. Cartoon bright flashback. Lucas, Ken, the priest, all swinging through the wave. We will fight through the swarm of them. A toast hanging in fairy lights. Comrade, raise your glass up high. The line that survived the entire night. Back to the room. He leans close, the wheelchair tucked under the bedside table. The healer steps out softly. Wheels click against floorboards. He cannot leave her starving while the rest of the army drinks itself stupid. Vegetables glisten on a round plate. A goblet beside it. Is the cup filled with water, he asks. His gloved hands cradled a small goblet, a pause everyone in the hall would have missed. "Well, should we cheers?" Lily offers. "I have no arms to raise my glass." The cup waits for him. Green eyes go wide. A surprise the healer did not budget for tonight. A toast made without her hand. Lily watching, cheeks colored faintly. The man who never drinks for anyone is drinking for her. He tips the goblet. Wine vanishes in one slow pull. "Private toast in a private room, but it will last," she whispers. "In our memories." The line that turns a bad night into a kept thing. "A normal party gets forgotten," he tells her. "Today's scenery will last a long time." The honest sentence. Lily holds his eyes, cheeks faintly warm. Whatever just happened in this room belongs to her now. He brings the goblet to her lips. She drinks. Two soldiers sharing rations the war forgot to invent. Lily fed Godhand one cold vegetable at a time. He ate every bite without a single complaint. Two figures side by side at the window. Wheelchair and bed. The night of victory continued on. Morning. Sunlight knifes through diamond lattice glass. A skull that survived too many cups is about to wake. Ow, ow, my head. A hand drags sleep off the sheets of a bed Ash does not remember choosing. He sits up bare-chested. Someone beside him pulls the sheet up. "Ah, what?" he stammers, fully awake now. A figure in white turns away, long hair tumbling. For exactly one heartbeat, the world is romance novel cover. Then the silk falls. Bearded, barrel-chested old veteran rolls over with a satisfied groan. Ag. Ash's mouth opens to a perfect scream. Brown eyes soccard. The Tyrant has met a worse boss than the Spider Queen. Bathhouse benches around him. Old soldiers laugh. "We are the Golden Years Army," they say. "Drank a lot last night." Well, I am fine," Ash answers. Bare chest, wooden bench, dignity scattered in the steam around him. "Take off your pretentiousness," the veterans roar. "Let us swim comfortably, man to man." Old soldiers know no shame. Ash covers his face. "I did that. Holy, I was that kind of drunk." The Tyrant is briefly just a boy. "No, don't say that," with that vague connotation, his own voice ringing back inside the bathhouse echo. Bare feet land on tile. "Oh, you're awake, your highness." The Tyrant's brain reboots in one syllable. "Lucas, you're the only one who will rescue me out of this hell," Ash thinks. The blonde knight is already smiling. Ash blinks at his attire. "Why are you stripped to your underwear?" The morning is not finished with him. Lucas explains gravely. Main party members stripped to their pants too. The custom Ash apparently signed on to last night. Pixelated flashback. A boy curled on the floor, a parent's back turned. It's cold. I'm really sorry." Pixelated old men cackle around him. "The more I think about it, the more I will suffer," Ash decides. Lucas plants hands on hips, sculpted and grinning. "Let's go, your highness." Ash has lost this morning entirely. Steam curls off tile pools. The public bathhouse is right next door, the knight says, and they walk. Ash, the Tyrant, off the battlefield, asking Lucas a question civilians never get to hear. Who uses the imperial baths? A polished boot strikes marble. A sound this clean has not echoed under Ash's heels in many, many bloody weeks. Lucas turns. Surprise flickers across his blonde knight's face. Your prince walks into the public bathhouse like an ordinary man. Crossroad still smells like ash and stone. Ash walks the colonnade alone, a small luxury earned in blood. His face says everything strategy meetings cannot. Exhausted, sleep-starved. The Tyrant of a defense game is also a tired young man. Steam, white marble, and the faint giggle of bathers. Ash admits it. He was wrong. This fantasy world built real comforts. Shoulders out of the water, a tired half-smile. Ash gives this kingdom its smallest compliment. The plumbing works. Lucas, ever the aide, pitches it like duty. He will stand at his highness's side. Even here, especially here. Water spills off a stone lip in a long silver ribbon. The imperial bath sings the lullaby that war has refused them. One enormous eye peering over the rim. The third prince has receded into a boy guarding his own private warmth. Lucas's back, scarred end to end, slashes, burns. A ledger Ash has been quietly reading every battle since their first. Lucas turns toward him. A blonde half-smile, lit gold by steam light. He has built that smile to deflect questions like this. A long, easy laugh, the bath bubbling at their chests. Lucas brushes the moment off. He has practiced this answer for years. 3 soft dots and a held breath. Ash files the scars away in the same place he keeps the names of the fallen. 2 pairs of feet rising out of the steam. Ash decides this conversation has gone deep enough. They climb out together. The Tyrant of a defense game asks the room what the heck it is doing. Civilians using royal facilities was not in his briefing. Steam-soaked locals erupt with laughter as Ash drips his way past. The bathhouse does not care that he is royalty. Lucas grins. Two soaked princes stand alone in a place where the public sees them naked as anyone else. A bearded mercenary nearly bows himself into the marble. Oh, His Highness is here too. His joy is huge and honest. Sign above the door. Public bathhouse lounge. The Prince of the Empire has just stepped out of a townsfolk locker room. Ash slumps on a stone bench, robe loose at the collar. Phew. The tyrant of a defense game admits he can catch his breath now. He underestimated this world. That confession arrives without armor. The fantasy place, it turns out, is pretty good. A voice cracks the quiet. Oh, senior. A wheelchair rolls into view at the far end of the colonnade. The spiral-eyed servant herself. White-haired sprite of a girl, demanding to know what His Highness is doing in town. Stone courtyard, wide angle. The little blonde servant is towing a wheelchair with an auburn-haired woman seated in it. The spiral-eyed servant grins up at her companion, asking confirmation. The auburn woman answers softly, eyes warm and a little tired. Ash thinks it before he can stop himself. He understands now why Evangeline keeps an arm around Lily in every room. See you next time, senior. The little servant waves off with that sparkle the manor sprite always carries. Hey, wait. Ash stands. Cold and aloof would be wrong. He has questions for the woman in the wheelchair. One eye filling half the scene. The auburn-haired woman has just realized who the casual stranger really is. Her composure cracks. Out of her white and gold robes, she barely recognized the tyrant of a defense game. He sees her in his memory. White and gold robes, the red cross blazing between her brows over the bleeding line of soldiers. She came to wash off the long night. Brown eyes lowered. She speaks with the calm of someone used to outranking soldiers. Last night she performed God-hand surgery. Lines of wounded summoned to her tent by number. The Empire's bill arrived in flesh. Yes, haha, Ash answers, polite and slightly winded. The Tyrant of a defense game is being small-talked by a high priestess. The defense battle ended yesterday at dawn, she says. Civilians flood the bathhouse like a city catching its breath at last. She apologizes, half-bowed. Her soldiers, her wounded, her work, they have taken over his prince's day off and she knows it. Stone angel statue at the cathedral. On this front, a battle is seen as a holy act. Defending the people becomes prayer. Ash, gentler than the Empire knows him to be, says she sounds like a priestess, and also at the same time, very human. She has other priestesses to attend to. The auburn-haired healer rolls her own farewell, telling him to enjoy his break. She catches up to a column of robed sisters in the colonnade, auburn hair against pale walls. The cathedral collects her back. Ash leans back in a sun-warmed sauna. Ha, he says it out loud. He wants Sikie. The boy from Earth has resurfaced, a boiled egg cracked into perfect halves on a small tray. He dreams of a glass of ice-cold water sliding alongside. 3 young men jog up. My prince, Hyungnim. They are the public bathhouse boys, soaked and ready with mischief in tow. Black market. Ash's eyes go wide. Wait. What black market? The tyrant has never sounded more like a worried older brother. Lucas lifts a ceramic jar like a holy relic. Chilled honey water, the unbelievable brats read their prince's mind. Red claws of envy spike the air like a hex. The other boys do not get to drink first. The prince is awake again. Tangle of bare arms and screaming faces. Give me a sip, you wolves. The bathhouse erupts in honey water civil war. Ting. The jar tips. Ceramic shards skitter across the wooden bench, a chip dancing into the grain like a coin. Lucas rises, blonde hair plastered to his forehead. I will take care of the rest of this business. His tone has shifted. After the heavenly snack break, the bathhouse glitters under a crossroad sky. Ash steps out onto the colonnade alone. Glass window of light catches his fingertips. He opens the system menu. Stage 5 prep work starts here, in calm. 5, 10, 15, 20. Multiples of 5 are boss stages. The defense game does not bury this rule politely. Fearful, stage 5, 28 days, 9 hours. The counter blooms across the panel, blue and merciless. 683 hours left. Ash's eyes harden. I have to prepare thoroughly. The bathhouse warmth has already burned off the back of his neck. A foot strikes cobblestone behind him. The colonnade has another visitor for the third prince. The day refuses to end. A young dark-haired man in white robes steps into the colonnade. Lean, nervous, he addresses Ash like a recruit at attention. I am Dion. Dion Agat. He says it twice, almost begging the prince to remember a name that has never mattered before. A fearful style mist parts around a small silhouette. Average stats, average kid, so even in the game, he barely registers. Sub-Party 2, Rock, Dion, Isla, Hessen, Shay, levels 14 to 16, a whole rookie team standing under the prince's gaze. Compliant? The boy stammers. Ash blinks. What did he just say? The vocabulary is too polished for a rookie's mouth. The rookie team behind Dion bows in unison, heads down, robes brushing stone. The colonnade has become an audition floor. We are mercenaries, your highness. Dion's voice climbs an octave. The pitch lands with the desperation of empty pockets. Because we are young and inexperienced. But, the boy continues, we do not want to rust before a chance arrives. Sub-Party 2 stands shoulder to shoulder. We will show you that we can pull our weight. Ash measures them in silence. Ash turns just enough to let the smile crawl up one side of his face, and the room goes still around it. Classic nerd plants himself in front of the prince and demands a sparring match against Ash's personal party. Fearful Lucas mutters how arrogant under his breath, arms folded, refusing to dignify the gamer with anything louder. The gamer presses, asking if he gets to choose the place and time, as if the match is already won. Ash answers with that same lazy half-smile, the one that means he has already worked out 3 moves ahead. By the time boots hit dust at the barracks ring, the whole crew is whispering that a real fight is coming. Soldiers and gawkers shove for a sightline as the rumor spreads, calling each other over to come check it out. The barracks sparring stage sits in the heart of the parade ground, sunlit, gladiator cold, the perfect arena. Lily worries aloud whether Lucas's squad can stand without her magic and Demian's healing watching their backs. Lucas pulls his soldiers into a tight huddle, looking up like a captain measuring the weight of his bench. Good then, let's go, he says, and the line of armored soldiers steps out of the shadow into the dust. The gamer's crew snatches wooden practice blades, smirking, telling each other it will be over in one swing. Rules drop sharp. Leave the ring, surrender, or lose your weapon, and the judge calls it a knockdown. A red signal flag rises above the arena, the herald's voice carrying ready to both sides under the open sky. Fight! The call drops, and the 2 lines lunge into each other through a corridor of pillars and dust. Fearful Lucas's eyes narrow gold and cold, swearing he will not surrender his heart just because the blades are wooden. On the other side, the gamer charges in low, mouth pulled tight, all that cockiness sharpened into a real strike. Wooden polearms crack against shields in a shower of dust as someone shrieks under the weight of the first clash. Lucas snaps, "Don't be cocky," at his soldiers, the warning landing like a slap before pride costs them everything. His blue gaze lifts past his own line, calm and surgical, already locking onto the bigger threat across the ring. A white-haired girl with green eyes hums a tune, polite as a music lesson, stepping forward as if half asleep. "Well then, let me show you," she chirps, and the wooden polearm in her hand suddenly looks like a real one. Her polearm caves a shield in 2 and the 2 beside her flinch back in pure animal shock. Lucas's jaw drops, mouth wide, the polished noble composure cracked open by a single inhuman swing. Her staff hammers down and chips the stone of the ring itself, someone in the line whispering no with real fear. 2 more recruits go flying sideways, armor rattling, weapons skidding into the dust beyond reach. Her strength, Lucas grits through his teeth, eyes wide, the words bitten off like he hates saying them aloud. The white-haired girl pivots low and slashes her polearm clean across the ring, leaving a contrail in the dirt. The girl spins her staff again, sending 2 more of Lucas's recruits skidding through the dust on their backs. A recruit yelps and crumples behind a shield as her strike clips through wood and bone deep into her stance. 3 of Lucas's people sprawl out across the arena now, weapons loose, the gamer's gambit suddenly making sense. The level gap is earth and sky. The gamer's team is bridging it on grit and 1 terrifying carry alone. From his perch, Ash murmurs that the plan is decent, the kind of compliment he hands out maybe once a year. "If we can just take down the blonde knight," the white-haired girl whispers, eyes sharpening on Lucas himself. Lucas's face dips into shadow for 1 breath, head bowed, finally taking the white-haired threat seriously. His eyes lift slow, blue cold as winter glass, the polite knight gone and the actual SSR finally awake. 1 flash of motion, dust ripping outward, and the gamer's line is on the ground around a single standing figure. "Lucas wins," the herald shouts, arm raised. the blonde knight standing alone in a circle of stunned recruits. An SSR Lucas at level 37 over 5 tiny N-rank recruits at 14 and 15, no contest at all. The gamer kneels exhausted, sweat and dust streaking his cheeks, looking up at Ash like a beaten card player. Ash steps in front of him, calm, no gloating, only the offer hanging quiet in the cooling arena air. "Fight monsters with me," Ash says. No titles, no fanfare, just the gamer's worth recognized at last. Their gloved hands lock together, knuckles white, the gamer holding on like he is afraid the offer will dissolve. Standing now, the gamer grips Ash's hand back firm, the cockiness gone, replaced by something more like loyalty. The gamer looks back at his teammates, mouth open, the news sinking in slowly behind him in their own faces. "This is exactly what we wanted, Your Highness," one of them blurts out, all of them still ranked N class. The gamer's grin splits open wide in silly, pure joy, the first stranger to ever offer him a real job. Ash sinks back at his desk, fingertips brushing the glowing blue interface only he can pull open like this. Auto-exploring the first area. The menu reads, sending sub-parties into anywhere he has already personally cleared. Since this is the Dion Squad's first dungeon entry, the assignment feels heavier than the system's flat tone. "Will they be okay, Your Highness?" Lily asks softly, kneeling beside the map of Lake Dungeon enemy zones. "Enemy," says the unseen voice over a beaked plague mask, and Ash knows the system means men, not monsters. "They won't be able to come back safely," Lucas warns, already volunteering to ride into the lake himself. Ash flips through the briefing pages, listing platforms, monsters, percentages, the analyst in him fully online. "Maybe they just want to protect their backs in case we steal it from them," Ash muses, watching Lucas. Lucas's face lights up with a sun-bright smile, ready to go protect his prince's investment personally. Lunchtime already. The pixel butler chirps from the window, asking whether Ash needs a vacation soon. A book slaps shut, boots tap the floor, and someone steps lightly toward another door across the manor. Down the hall, a small servant gasps from a doorway, eyes wide on something unfolding inside the next room. The spiral-eyed servant sobs and shivers, the spirals in his eyes wobbling like a slot machine pulled hard. "You've regained your consciousness," a white-robed cleric murmurs to a bandaged head bowed in a sick room. At the same time, the north gate of Crossroad rises pale against drifting clouds, taller than any war banner. Two dark leather boots stop in the dust outside the gate, polished but worn, a traveler on a long road. Under a wide black witch hat, a stranger smiles, blonde hair spilling out, a long blade resting at her side. Three rust-walled words crack the silence of the recovery hall. "Are you alive, Jupiter?" Ash needs an answer before tomorrow. Fearful, Jupiter sits at sunlit window, bandage wrapping her brow, eye patch in place. Soup steams. She has not lifted the spoon. A black-gloved hand clenches the chair edge so hard the wood groans. Every joint in that arm is paying interest. She finally speaks. It is not great. Bandages strangle her wrist, her ribs, her dignity, and her 30-year resume. Her wrapped hand opens like a wound on linen sheets. Scarred fingers refuse to fully flex. The veteran is still healing. Ash leans in, grinning under his red cape, eyes warm. He survived hell with her, and he is here to collect. Her bandaged hand jerks against her ribs. Pain shoots up the arm and she clamps it down before it shows on her face. She masks the wince with a dry smirk and asks what else he could possibly need money for. Building another castle? Jupiter waits, silver hair backlit by window grills. She is enjoying this. She wants to hear the absurd answer. Not a castle, he says. A luxury hotel in Crossroad. The city of Graves is getting a 5-star upgrade soon. Whiskey, he adds, and a cigar. Sunlight pours through cathedral glass like a promise of expensive evenings ahead. Jupiter laughs, raising her bandaged hand. They sit knee to knee, talking hotels like the funeral pyres never burned. He bows out of the room. Your Highness, she calls after him from the bed by the lonely window light. Down at the cathedral, Ash paid Godhand a visit too. The Red Cross healer would not soften the diagnosis for him. Recovery within 4 weeks is impossible, the healer said quietly. Margarita confirmed it. Jupiter is out of the next fight. Margarita repeats it like a death sentence. 4 weeks minimum. The next battle will not give them 4 days. A red-eyed boss glows in his mind. A thorn silhouette stamped boss in jagged letters. The next obstacle is monstrous. Can they pull off the next battles without a wide-range sorceress? The question echoes inside his skull and refuses to settle. Thinking will not solve anything, the system whispers. A red-caped figure strides off the marble floor. Decision already made. The Mercenary Guild banner hangs above tall stone gates. Lucas in white plate stands at Ash's shoulder as they push inside. Ash's face fills with quiet calculation under dark hair. He is shopping for a sorceress in a building full of brawlers. A pop-up flares gold in his vision. Wait, really? Gold rank? His system has never misread an aura before this. An SSR. Here, for real? The words ring inside his skull like coins hitting a marble counter. He turns his head. Black hair, sharp jawline. Across the hall, a witch hat brim tips into golden light and shadow. Closer. Ash in red cape stands in front of a blonde figure in dark robes and gold trim and pointed hat. Sorry, sir. She smiles softly. The witch hat shadows her freckled cheek. But I am not a mercenary, she clarifies. Ash leans on the bar counter, voice level. I came because I heard my grandmother was here, he tells her smoothly. What is your grandmother's name? She asks through warm window light. Jupiter, Ash says. The name lands and hangs there. Her face emerges from under the brim. Golden eyes, freckles, faint scar across one. She is younger than her aura suggested. The system slides a translucent card forward. Foxborough, gold lover, permanent. She really must be Jupiter's granddaughter. But her job class is an elemental mage. The system flares. Jupiter's lightning daughter inherited fire and frost too. Top tier even among mages, the card whispers. Ash stares straight ahead. I must recruit her, no matter what it costs. Jupiter never talked about you, Ash admits across the bar counter. Purple flame curls behind her shoulder like memory. She has mentioned it only a couple of times. The witch shrugs. She never said the rank. Well, Jupiter could not. Whiskey sits on the bar in a heavy glass. Amber liquid catches the light. Since you asked for my name, she begins. Ash answers first under gold lamplight. My name is Ash, he says clean and clear. The prince makes the introduction. Fearful apologies for not recognizing you, your highness. The witch demurs with a small bow under the hat brim. Her smile sharpens around painted lips. Black ribbons cross at her throat. Whatever is coming, she has rehearsed it before. Under the brim, freckled and golden-eyed, she watches him in silence. The witch is calculating her grandmother's price. Ash promises her the best treatment, sliding a mountain of glittering gold coins across the bar like a held promise. I came here to meet my grandmother, she answers quietly. The mountain of gold suddenly looks smaller than family. She smiles thin under the brim, eyes closed. A teasing hum of approval or pity. The prince cannot tell yet. Her profile pivots in the lamplight, a clean line of cheek and parted lips under blonde hair and the dark brim. Think about my offer, the prince says behind her, leaving the witch standing with a mountain of gold and a question. Out in the marbled corridor, Lucas in white plate falls in beside Ash, still chewing on what just happened inside. The granddaughter, Lucas repeats blankly, gauntlet halfway to his cheek. Jupiter has a granddaughter and never told the army. Well, Ash deadpans. It is a grandmother and a granddaughter. Bloodline math has never been Lucas's strongest combat skill. Lucas's blue eyes go wide, sweat beating at his temple. The blonde knight is short-circuiting beside his prince in real time. The fact that Jupiter has had a child at all, Lucas marvels. It is surprising, Ash agrees. Veteran assumptions just shattered. Lucas exhales hard into his fist, brows knitted. The blonde knight is reorganizing 20 years of war stories in his head. Dame Jupiter always seemed the type to live alone, Ash murmurs. Statues of women loom in the alcove behind them. Cathedral bells toll over the city. Sandstone steeple thrusts at a hazy sky. The story is rotating back to its veteran. Bandaged knuckles tremble on white sheets. Sweat beads against the gauze. Jupiter's wounded hand twitches like a startled animal. Her one uncovered eye snaps open. Brown and unfocused. The bandage cuts across her brow like a closed shutter. I have missed my time to retire, Jupiter thinks against the white pillow. The thought tastes like ash and old gunpowder. Her dress uniform hangs in shadow, gold epaulets drooping. Metal bar weighed with names the Empire would rather forget. She was discharged dishonorably from the army she spent her life inside. 3 months wandering with no battlefield to call hers. Can I rest now? The question floats in gray void, bold and bone-tired. 30 years of war asks for permission. Flames roar around a lone silhouette inside the inferno. Do I have the right to? She asks the burning world. Then a blonde witch stands radiant in cathedral light, mouth open in laughter, dark hat brim haloed in pure gold. Junior, Jupiter croaks, silver hair tangled with bandages. How did you find me? Her voice will not steady itself. It is like you have seen a grim reaper, the witch says softly across from Jupiter. The bandaged veteran cannot answer. Close on the granddaughter's amber eye, ringed with freckles, dark lashes steady. She has come a very long way. The witch sits cross-legged at the bedside in cathedral light. Ha, Jupiter rasps from the pillow. The lightning sorceress is unprepared.